Planners, you should be working. Gee, so should you. That's okay. Now, how do I do this? In comment. Let's rock and roll. Here we go. We're on time. We are talking today all about travel fitness. What do you do when you travel? Hello, KH60. What have you got to say to me? Big balls, quintessentially 24. Mate, you've definitely got some chat for us about staying fit on the move when you're traveling. I know you love to eat burgers, mate. How many burgers can you eat during a trip? That's all I want to know. Say Ramadan Kareem, of course, Ramadan Kareem. Actually, for those of you that are fasting, we may be talking about some food during this show. So if you don't want to hear about food, then I suggest you listen to the show later. I'll post this show up onto my website later on, mjdsmith.com. You can find out all about it and you can see exactly what's going on. The topic, as you can see there, guys, today, Ramadan Kareem to you as well, Tufik. Cheers, mate, Mansoor. Ramadan Kareem to you as well. Ramadan Kareem to absolutely everyone. Guys, what I'm going to be talking about in today's live is travel fitness. How much fitness should you be doing when you're traveling? I know a lot of you are going to be preparing, especially after Ramadan. Hello, Alpha. How's it going? To have some holidays. I've just come back from a trip myself as well. How do we manage food? How do we manage training? And exactly what's going on. Quintessentially says he has 45 quarter pounders gets me through a trip, but Smith Street Paleo recipes get me on it. Absolutely, mate. I won't ask you what your favorite burger is, but yeah. I think one of the biggest things that I'm seeing here is that when people are traveling, they're sort of letting all of their diet go, they're letting all of their fitness and hard work go. And although travel time could be a time where you do relax a little bit, diet-wise and training-wise, there's nothing worse than coming back from a holiday and being, I don't know what the record is. I think I've seen some people like a couple of weeks on holiday and they've come back basically about 6 kilos overweight. So don't be one of those people. You don't need to be training every day and you don't need to be super strict, but you do need to have some check of your diet and some check of your training as well. You can do some training. One Cherry Hill House, which I think is my mum or dad, they say hello. Hello, mum, I love you. Hello, dad, I love you too. That's very important, folks. Don't forget about that. Hopefully they get that. So guys, that's what I want to know about. You guys need to join the conversation as well. Quintessentially says he loves quarter pounders on his trip, but when he comes back, he hammers Smith Street Paleo. That's a really good idea. You can get that lined up for when you come back. And of course, a lot of people shouting out there, Ramadan Kareem, how are you folks? Ramadan Kareem to everyone. Hope everyone's fasting is going super well. Actually gonna do some Q&A on fasting next week. So if you do have questions on fasting, let me know. And also, I'd probably make next Thursday's live about fasting because there'll be a lot of questions. It's the first day today, so I'll let you guys run with it for a little bit. I want to know from you guys though that are listening, watching in, what do you do during your travel? How do you prepare your food? Do you prepare your food? Do you take your food with you on the airplane? That's something that a lot of people are starting to do. Quintessentially's got some really good ideas then. Chris Quint, thanks for joining us, mate, again. He says, after he's had his burgers, he says, he gets in some mobility, some flows, water, and light workouts when I land. I think that's super important, mate. And that was one of the things that I was gonna suggest as well. Like, that's what I do. You can always find a little bit of space in a hotel, a little bit of mobilization stuff, and a little bit of sort of animal flow can work really well. Call it yoga if you want. If you guys follow my story, you'll see that whenever I'm in a hotel or whenever I'm actually at home, I'll always do some flow training, some yoga style of training, just to really stretch the body out. You've probably been in an airplane seat, which is, for most parts, unless you're sat up there at the front, is pretty uncomfortable, and you just want to stretch out a little bit, get a little bit of mobility around the joints, and you don't need, this is the biggest thing when you're traveling as well, for mobility and flow stuff in your hotel room, as Chris says there, you don't need any equipment for it, and I think that's one of the most important things as well. You can just say, like, every morning, I'll do 15 or 20 minutes of flow, and I'll just really get into that. Another thing that Chris hits on straight away there is water. water's really the key. And what I see generally a lot of is people are in the airport, they'll grab a coffee, they'll get on the plane, they might have a soft drink, they might have another coffee, and really the amount of water that they're consuming when they're traveling is super, super low. So before you get on the plane, I would really urge people, I know water in airports is a little bit expensive, but when you get on the plane, or before you get on the plane, when you're at the airport, get in as much water as you can. Of course, if it's this stuff, it's extra good. It hydrates you double as quickly as normal water. Doesn't really. Don't hold that against me. But it actually tastes super cool. Just stay super, super hydrated. And when you land again, you'll notice that your urine is probably not completely clear. So just make sure you're smashing loads of water. Especially if you're traveling to Europe as well, you might feel that your body's just reacting a little bit differently because you're maybe not drinking, you're maybe not feeling as thirsty as you are when you're over here in Dubai or in a hotter climate, but actually you still need plenty of hydration there. So there's some really good points from good old quintessentially 24. Guys, if you have any points, you can see the topic we're talking about there, travel fitness. How do you manage your fitness? How do you manage your food? How do you manage your body when you're traveling, when you're either going on holiday or for work, so that you don't pile on the kilos? I see so many people that work in and around this region that travel a lot, and they're literally, their early mornings in the airport, they're having a latte, they're having a muffin, they're having a dirty, filthy sandwich for breakfast, they're getting somewhere, the options are absolutely limited. And that comes to a second point there that Chris brought up, is he takes his food with him, some snacks for the plane. I think that's a super cool idea. It's something that I do a lot. Holly prepares it a lot for me. But I'll always actually, if I'm not taking a full meal with me, I'll always have some form of snack with me, be it a bag of nuts. Dubai Duty Free do an excellent bag of mixed nuts. Got to give props to them. They do a really good bag of mixed nuts that you can just have. It's like 500 grams. You can just put it in your hand luggage and you've got nuts. They've got a mixture of pistachios, cashews, almonds, and they also put in some raisins, which makes it a little bit sweet. That fruit tastes super good, and it'll stop you from, you know, I was on Emirates the other day and they're bringing ice cream around. Like, it'll just stop you from having that, and it'll stop you from smashing the whole tray that they put in front of you, the disgusting bun, the terrible dessert, blah, blah, blah. You know exactly how it goes. If you are a little bit more creative or you are a little bit more keen, there's absolutely nothing wrong with taking your own food on the airplane. A lot of airports have some healthy options available, be it some sushi or something like that, or make a salad at home and take it with you. Some food doesn't travel very well, but a lot of places in the world, they'll have in the airport, like, or near the airport, a grocery store that you can just buy some basic things from. You can take them on the airplane with you and you can eat them. You could even be super cheeky, and I've done this a lot and I've never been told no, is I just ask the cabin crew if I can put my things in the fridge. So I'll take on maybe a salad or something that needs to stay cool, or some food that I can eat cold and I want it to stay cold, and I'll just ask them to put it in the fridge, and they don't have any problems with that. The only thing on that, if you do take it in a cool bag, be careful not to take ice blocks. This is the problem when you go into hot countries. The ice blocks will get taken off you during the security because of the liquids and gas rule, which I actually think is a load of nonsense. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about travel fitness, how you can manage your health a lot better when you're on the move. If you've got any things that you do, tips you want to share with, then absolutely just drop them there in the comments. One cool question that's just come in there from Anwan Bilal says, can you give us examples of flow exercises? I'll actually put up a video, I'll do a whole YouTube video on this within the next couple of weeks for you. If not, I'll do that specifically on flow. If you want a daily routine, which is like a stretch routine, send me a direct message and I will send that over to you. Or you can hop over to this live when it's finished. I'll publish the video over on my website, mjdsmith.com/talks. You'll get this video and I'll put in there the link to a daily movement routine that I have on my YouTube channel. So that should hopefully, yeah, I've got an itchy nose, don't worry about it. That should hopefully see that off for you. It's completely free, guys. You can just get that YouTube video and watch it, and I'll actually do a whole flow routine. Now that I can actually move my hand a lot more and do stuff, I'll do a flow routine for you as well that maybe takes about 5 or 10 minutes. You can do in a hotel room within the next couple of weeks. Let's keep rolling through. If you do have any questions, while Sue says find a box at every destination if there isn't one run. Yeah, I mean, that's that's a super awesome thing. Like if you want a structured workout, then there are CrossFit gyms all around the world. If you're into CrossFit and all around the world, you're gonna get a good workout. I've done it myself. I've visited a whole number of gyms. These days, I actually do what Chris said there earlier as well. He said walks are epic, audiobooks for the mindset, plus take in the surroundings of your destination. That's what I always have loved to do. I'll get to a destination, the first thing I do is I'll plan a walk or a run the next morning. I was recently in London, woke up at 5 o'clock, woke Holly up and said, let's go walking in the park. It's super good, as Chris said, for your mindset there as well. So if you can't find a gym, it's not always, and this is what I think, guys, when it comes to the actual movement and training, I don't think all the time you need to be going to a gym. Hotel gyms, barbells, hotel gyms on the whole are not super well equipped. They're not very nice places. So, you know, if you live in somewhere like Dubai and you're traveling to Europe where it's beautifully green, then it's super awesome just to get out and to walk or to go for a jog, you know, and if you get tired or if you see something nice, take a picture, that kind of stuff. And I think this comes down to really setting your goals of what you want to achieve during your travel. Most of the time for me, it's just staying healthy, moving well. Yeah, my diet's probably not going to be as tight as it normally is, but not overeating and just making sure that we're doing some exercise every single day that we're away, just to keep things ticking over. And so when I get out of bed in the morning, I feel good, I feel refreshed, and I don't come back feeling just totally lethargic, which is what happens when you don't really do much for a couple of weeks. So yeah, if you can find a gym, find one. If not, just get outside and enjoy it. Pearl says depending on the flight length, he fasts. That's a super good idea. Eat on arrival, under 8 hours, no issues. And I think that's one thing as well, like on flights a lot, we probably just dig into food because we're bored, like we eat out of boredom. So if you make a commitment, you say, I'm gonna fast, when that trolley comes around, you just say, nah, I don't want it. I'm just gonna, you know, crack on with my fast. Make sure it's not a complete fast unless it's Ramadan and you're following strict rules and not the travel exemption and all that. And just stick with your water. I think that's a real good point. Folks, if you do have sports, if you do have comments, travel, fitness, sports that you do when you're away, regimes that you follow, food that you generally eat when you're away, drop them in the comments section. I'm just flying through here. Tufik says he travels for sports. I think that's super important as well. Like sometimes just maybe base your holiday around a sporting event. I know for some people that might be super alien. Actually, I'm seeing the trends go way up for that. A lot more people are in fact doing that now. I just came back from a trip where I was managed to tie in a run and also some relaxing time with Holly in London. So that was super successful for me. So I know Tufik always travels for sports. He doesn't actually travel unless he's gonna do sport. So your YouTube channel is where I go for all the content. Thank you so much, mate. Guys, if you want to join the conversation, just hop in and stick your comments there. We're talking about travel, fitness, what you do to stay in control of things when you're on the road. Sand in my heels says, any recommendations for people fasting and how to exercise? Yeah, we're gonna go into a lot more detail in this. I plan to do next week's Q&A around this and also next week's live around this. And what I'm saying here is for people fasting, there's two options for your exercise, in my opinion. Either exercise just before you break your fast so that when you are super thirsty, you can have a drink like within half an hour. The second option is to exercise about 2 hours after you've broken your fast. I find that generally for people, from what I've seen, a little bit more challenging. Some guys have got it locked in, like they'll break their fast at 7 p.m, they'll eat something, pray, a couple of hours later, and then they'll train. So you kind of have to play with what works better for you, but they're the two best options that I've seen. Also, if you're training before iftar, you're maybe not going to be super hungry, and if you're training a couple of hours after iftar, you know that you don't want to take on a lot of heavy food. So Ramadan Kareem to everyone. We'll have a live and a lot of Q&A next week once you've had a week to try and get into things. If you do have any questions for me on fasting, on iftar, shoot them over. I would love to answer them for you. And Alabidi says, 247 says, I travel for hiking in the northern Philippines. I think that's a super good idea. I've never been there, but yeah, as Tufik was saying, travel to destinations. John says, happy Ramadan, Marcus. Thank you very much for that, John. And by the way, guys, John Britton, the guy that just made that comment right there, He is doing an amazing challenge. He is doing 50 pull-ups in 50 days. John does 50 pull-ups strict every day for 50 days. He's on day 21. I saw him yesterday. He's got veins popping out everywhere. It's one of the most insane challenges I've seen in recent times. 50 strict pull-ups. So massive respect to you, John Britton. I don't know if you're traveling in the next 29 days that's left in your challenge, John, but if you are, I'll be interested to see how you're gonna do your pull-ups. You're gonna do 2,500 pull-ups he expected to do. See the doctor around 1,800. Not sure what's going on there. Maybe he's got some problems according to the doctor. Not sure which doctor that's according to. Guys, join the conversation with me. Ask me questions. What problems do you guys have during your travel? Are you able to stay fit? Is it a challenge to eat well? The good questions come in there from John Grieve. Do you follow paleo, away, or splurge a bit? Mate, I wouldn't say I follow a strict paleo when I'm traveling. If I go to a country, I've just been in Europe, I had a crepe. Like, shoot me. Do you know what I mean? It's not really that bad. Did I have one every day? No. Is when there are paleo options, or it's not always paleo options, but when there are healthy options, I'll always take them. And I think this is one of the things, I think when you're on holiday, you can get a little bit sucked in. Like, there's gonna be sweet stuff on the breakfast buffet in most places you go. You know, there's gonna be ice cream at lunchtime, or ice cream available in the afternoon, or people just trying to sell you ice cream. You're gonna be going to restaurants where they have desserts on the menu. If you wanna treat yourself once a day, like, I don't think there's a massive problem with that. If you maybe have some alcoholic drinks as well, I don't think there's a problem with that. It's like if you wake up and you smash pancakes, and then you go to lunch and you have an ice cream and a few beers, and then in the evening you have a pizza, ice cream, and a few more beers, and you do that every single day, it's just gonna be absolutely mayhem. Whereas you could go to the breakfast buffet and you could have maybe some eggs, maybe some bacon or something like that, something that is reasonably healthy. You can have something nice and fresh, a salad or something for lunch with a bottle of sparkling water. I know it doesn't sound like everyone's holiday, but you can make these choices. And then in the evening, if you did want to have a pizza, you've done 1 out of 3 meals, not so good, but you've done the other 2 meals really well. So hopefully that answers your question, John. Definitely when I'm on holiday, mate, I love ice cream as much as anyone else. And you know, 1, twice, maybe once a day, I'll have an ice cream. But if I'm having an ice cream, then I'm not gonna be smashing, you know, the breakfast buffet and Nutella crepes like I had in France. Wow, that was good. I actually only had 1. It was really good though. And the guy that I was with had something even bigger, and it was like mayhem. So yeah, that hopefully takes that one away. John is seeing the doctor. Any questions you guys have got, drop them there in the comments section. Travel fitness is what we're talking about, how you manage it when you're away. Tufik has come back and said people end up not sleeping much when traveling. One reason why they're tired post-vacation. What do you think? Mate, I think that is exactly true. And that's why I want to encourage people to really manage their travel and their vacation, so that when they come back, yeah, you've done something cool, yeah, you've had a rest, but you don't come back in this position of extreme fatigue, eating bad, so your body's not feeling good, stiff, back problems. Like a lot of people will say, oh, the bed in the hotel wasn't great, my back's sore. Well, it's probably because you haven't done any physical activity for about 10 days and you've just been sitting on your backside. That's probably why your back's sore. It's got nothing to do with the bed. So I think people should, when I'm on vacation, I'll try and make sure I definitely sleep 8 to 10 hours a night. So that means I have to make sure that I'm in bed at a good time, get up at a good time as well, and just really prioritize my sleep. That is absolutely number one. I want to come back from a vacation feeling fresh and ready to go again. Like your batteries need a recharge. So that's what you're going on holiday for. And Tufik, I think you're absolutely right there, mate. I think a lot of people go on holiday and come back as tired or worse than they were before they went. They've had a lot of bad food, they've had no exercise, and they've had poor sleep. And I think that's really sad, because the holiday might have been great, but for what? Because you've eaten bad food every day, drunk too much alcohol, and partied the whole time. I think if you're 21 or 22, you can get away with that, but when you're maybe a little bit older, not like me, but when you're a bit older than me, or no, when you're around the age that I think a lot of you guys are, we really need to make sure that on our holidays, we actually have some relaxation and we actually enjoy ourselves and we don't come back tired. I think that's the most important thing. Folks, everyone that's joining, Thanks a lot. We're talking about travel fitness and things that you can do on your holiday. Some ideas I want to give you around training. We've spoken a lot about food, and I'm sorry for everyone that's watching that's fasting. We've spoken a lot about food and how you can potentially manage that. What I want to speak about now a little bit is the type of training you can do. We kicked it off at the start with some of Chris's comments. He said a little bit of mobility, a little bit of flow training. We also had some comments there about people finding a CrossFit gym if that's what you're into, and I think they're all great ideas. The number one thing for me is I think you should just get out and get moving in some direction. Go and walk around the city. That's absolutely great. The second thing you should be doing is some kind of movement routine that you can do in your hotel room. Some kind of core work is super simple. I've been putting a load of stuff on my story recently about simple core routines that you can do, especially we've got them over on the Inner Fight story as well, about core routines that you can do anytime, any day, in a hotel room, anywhere. You could even do these on the beach, and I'm actually putting together a whole series of programs for people to get over summer, which doesn't need any equipment, could be done in a park, could be done in your hotel room. So there's also, like, hotel gyms, as I said earlier, are not super attractive. In Europe, they're not really well equipped either, so I wouldn't be focusing too much and saying, yeah, I'm gonna go to the gym in the hotel every day, because you get there on the first day, there'll be a treadmill, it'll be a dingy room, there'll probably be no air conditioning, and you'll be like, get me the hell out of here. So it's a little bit more, it's somehow a little bit more relaxed. I think the focus should be on walks, getting out and running, doing a little bit of core work in your hotel room, doing a little bit of flow work, yoga style work, mobility, stretching, whatever you want to call it. The most important thing is that you commit to that time. You say, right, I'll wake up after I've slept those 8 hours or those 10 hours, hopefully, and you'll wake up and you'll do some stretching, some mobility, some flow work for 15 minutes. That'll be absolutely great. And then you'll go for a half-an-hour walk. If you did that every day on holiday, opposed to not doing that, you're gonna feel a massive benefit as well. So that's really how I'd definitely attack your training. I'd also just relax about it a little bit. Like, you're going on holiday to relax, so it doesn't mean that the first day you get back you have to set a new 3K PR, unless you're going on a training holiday. That's different. But as long as you get moving and you come back and you feel refreshed, I think that's the number one thing that we need to focus on here as well. Some comments there coming in. Mohammed says Mandy style equals gain weight. Yep, you went on holiday, you gained a load of weight, bro. That sucks, and you haven't got it off yet. That also sucks. I've just told everyone. Silly. Tufik says, one thing I take with me when traveling, rubber bands. Yeah, and that's something that's super cool. Like, if you want to, you can take a couple of things with you, like some resistance bands, and actually create a little workout on your own. If maybe you're a little bit more advanced, or maybe you're a little bit more into the training as well, you could do that. They're super light and you can take them anywhere with you. So I think that's really about it, folks. I think we've covered a lot of different things there. Just set your expectations. In summary, set those expectations. Don't push yourself too hard. Make sure you relax, but make sure you do a bit of training as well. I think that's super important. You need to move. Get out and enjoy the country that you're in. Walk around, go for a run, enjoy the nature. Overall, make sure you come back refreshed. And you're not going to achieve that if you go and you eat and you drink and you don't sleep. You're going to come back more tired than when you left. Do those things, you'll come back refreshed and you're ready to go again, and you've had a great holiday. For those of you that joined in, for those of you that contributed to the conversation, I really appreciate it. Next week, we're going to be talking all about fasting, about Ramadan, the do's, the don'ts, when to train, when not to train, what foods to eat after, during iftar, how to get involved in the best possible practice for fasting, and how to not feel hungry and thirsty throughout the day. I see a lot of people making some basic errors in their fasting and in their fitness. That's going to be next Thursday. We're also going to do some Q&A on it next week. Thanks everyone that's joined in. Thanks for all of your support, guys. Keep the questions coming. I'll keep answering them. Have an awesome day.